Now, I want to preface this by clarifying, child, that I am not a dating coach. Yes, I am a coach, but I don't specialize in dating. Now, if you want to click out of this video, go ahead and do what you need to do. I am, however, a high achieving woman of color in her 30s who, after settling for emotionally unavailable partners due to hyperperformance and hypermasculine states, and also emotional unavailability in my body, is having the most exciting dating life that I've had ever in my life. What's going on, y'all? It is your girl, Abiola Akani, back with a new YouTube video. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time coming here, my name is Abiola Akani. I am the founder of the ELL Yoga School. I'm a yoga teacher trainer and a coach. I help high achieving women shed the nice girl persona so that they can live beyond societal expectations while also leading in active rest. If that is you, you're definitely in the right place. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into these 5 dating do's for high achieving women of color in 2025. But before we get into those tidbits, let's break down what it means to be high achieving. It's kind of self-explanatory, but specifically I want to also qualify high achieving with high functioning anxiety. That can look like finding yourselves in cycles of hyper performance where you find it really difficult to slow down. You find yourself really hyper performative. You have the degrees, honey, the achievements, the accolades, all the receipts to prove it. And you are a leader in your field. You're killing the game. But you're also seeing high functioning anxiety show up in the form that it's really hard for you to practice active rest or to really allow yourself to shamelessly slow down. That can be indicative of nervous system dysregulation, which can also lead to hypermasculinity, where you're in states of constant flight or flight that cause you to resist the rest or also to resist the things that you want to receive, as opposed to being in your parasympathetic nervous system where you're in a more receptive state, right? Where you're using more higher functioning or more creative centers of the brain that allow you to embody more divine feminine reception, more divine feminine energy, where you're receiving more and doing less. You are a high achieving woman experiencing any type of chronic or high functioning anxiety that places you in states of fight or flight or fawn or freeze or any type of dysregulation in your nervous system, you're most likely experiencing a lot of resistance when you're dating, where you might be resisting the very thing that you want because you're in states of protection. With these 5 do's, they're specifically to help you identify those patterns of resistance so that you can be more receptive when you are dating and invite in and attract in the connections and the love that you really desire. Now, before you do any of that, you really want to focus on down-regulating your nervous system or reorienting your nervous system so that when you do experience states of fight or flight, instead of that being a negative stress, you have the tools to be able to navigate out of that or to reorient the body so that you can kind of navigate or move into parasympathetic states. That stress becomes, instead of negative stress, it becomes eustress, EUSTRESS, which is more of a beneficial state of stress. Because stress gonna come, child. It's always gonna come. It's a matter of utilizing supportive tools to help you metabolize chronic anxiety and shame so that when that stress comes, you respond differently. Now, the best way to downregulate or reorient your nervous system is through active rest. That's not just resting the physical body, but it's specifically metabolizing chronic stress and anxiety to really help practice active rest within the mind. We need to kind of get that prefrontal cortex this animalistic part of the brain, which is very much do, kind of get that turned off and activate more creative centers within the brain and pivot your focus. The best way to do that is through rest, to adapt your nervous system to new states of safety. Then I want you to click the link in my bio to gain early access to my Divine Feminine Rest coaching trial. This will give you early access plus exclusive pricing and some specialty bonuses. So click the link in my bio to join that wait list. And let's get into these 5 do's. Do number 1 is you want to neutralize these ninjas. You want to neutralize potential partners instead of pedestalizing them. Now, the reason why this is so important, and this is something that my coach taught me last year, Happy New Year, by the way, is that if you are high achieving, you love external validation. Let's just call a spade a spade. You drink it up like water. Sometimes you hide behind your achievements, right? You hide behind your achievements, your accolades oftentimes. And so you're leading with these a lot of the time. You kind of fixate on one person or pedestalize one person because you're looking for that validation. Now, what happens when you fixate or you focus your energy like that on one person? You pedestalize them self-consciously, and then you reduce your worthiness in your own eyes. What you want to do, in addition to adapting your nervous system to an empowered identity, is you want to neutralize potential partners and rotationally date multiple people. I did not say sleep with. So you're not getting attached to any type of behaviors or anything. You're letting them show and prove. And this is super important to allowing yourself to receive their positive advances. Let them show and prove. Let suitors show and prove. That's also how they cultivate intimacy or affection towards you, when they have to earn or work for something. So let them show and prove, neutralize them all. The only person you should be putting on a pedestal is the God in you. That is the only person, only being that should be put on a pedestal is the God in you. When you pedestalize them, you're already guiding yourself into cycles of suffering, and you're going to be disappointed because you have made them higher than yourself. They are not your source. They are not your God. They do not have something that you are lacking. They are another human being. Allow yourself to receive them as such and to let them show and prove, to experience more of you or to experience more of your time. Remember, the only being you are pedestalizing is the God in you. That is our source. Number 2, allow somebody to pay you a damn compliment without resisting. Allow yourself to receive without resisting. This is especially for high achieving women of color, because you just want to resist. If someone says like, you should smile more, says you're really beautiful, you're immediately just disaffirming this compliment, but also you're subconsciously resisting any advances because there's a state of unworthiness or narratives of unworthiness kind of moving in the background. The reason why we've pushed so hard in our careers is because there's some states of unworthiness. So we use our achievements, our degrees, all those things to prove our worth. So when someone just receives us without any knowledge of our accolades or our achievements, it's like, you're being nice to me or you're paying me a compliment, but I haven't really told you about what I've accomplished or what I've earned, and then we're immediately disrupting it. Allow yourself to receive someone's positive advances, right? By first noticing the resistance. If the resistance comes up, it's all good. Do not shame yourself. Shame keeps you in such states of dysregulation, it's not even funny. Please don't fall into the shame trap. You just want to notice, I'm resisting. Just pattern interrupt in that moment when you notice it happening without shaming yourself. And that comes with, once again, establishing safety within the body. Because when you feel safe, you allow yourself to wholeheartedly receive. If you are high achieving and you're experiencing any type of chronic anxiety or high functioning anxiety, you don't feel safe in your body. That's why you're on high alert, you're hyper vigilant, or you're hyper protective, right? Especially around masculine energy, is because you don't feel safe. So you want to allow yourself to rest, to guide yourself into states of safety within the body. That's why that rest is, that active rest specifically, is so crucial. Okay, number 3, and I know y'all gonna have something to say. Allow him or they or she, whoever's assuming the dominant role, allow them to lead. Allow them to lead without trying to control. This is so big, because if you're a high achieving woman, you got it on lock. Pay your bills, you run your household, you probably run a team of people in corporate or as an entrepreneur. So control is your middle name. Now, when you try to release control, it feels a little disruptive in the body. We want to allow potential suitors to show us how they lead when it comes to you. Let me say that again. You want to allow potential suitors to show you how they lead when it comes to you specifically. And if you try to negate that, or you try to interrupt and lead by trying to control the situation, it's just self-sabotage. It's self-sabotage, but you're also not allowing that potential suitor to show you how they lead, right? We need to see how they lead. You want to see how they lead to determine if you feel safe following their leadership. And what tends to happen, especially as high achieving women of color, is you don't give them enough of an opportunity to show you their leadership. You're already negating it right in the beginning, and you haven't even allowed them to show what type of leadership they have. Or you're co-signing to leadership that has not been shown. You're already co-signing because you're pedestalizing them, and you're co-signing with whoever they are or whatever they are, without even allowing them to showcase their leadership. You're just taking control and just saying, come with me, right? Now, if you are a high achieving woman of color, you probably are attracted to a strong masculine energy, or an energy has a level of leadership within it, right? Because that's ultimately what's going to help you dismantle your defensive protective mechanisms and trust someone else's leadership. So this is such an incredible opportunity when you're dating someone to let them lead. Learn their leadership strategies. Learn who they are as leaders to really determine, because you get to decide if this is the type of leadership that you would like to follow, right? This one has been huge for me in terms of getting out of my own way, not self-sabotaging, and just letting potential suitors lead, because I want to see your leadership in action. I want to see if it's something that I admire and I respect. Is it something that I want to submit to? Is it done in order, in love, right? So this is why you want to release the control, honey. Okay. Number 4, release the need to challenge. Release the need to challenge. You start talking to somebody, you're challenging them at every single point. You're asking them controversial questions that you know are going to ruffle feathers. You're challenging them right in the beginning with everything that they say, showcasing this energy of, I heard this analogy, instead of a home, it's an airport. It's just so busy. It's just chaotic. And when you think about dating, think about some place you want to land safely and feel settled and at home. As soon as you get in the airport, you want to get out of that hole. So if you're giving off airport energy where there's so much challenge, there's no place for that person to settle with you. And when you're constantly challenging somebody, it is that airport energy. There's no place to nestle. And it's not only about them. You want that as well. And sometimes it's not so much about that person's character, but allowing the energy that you have together to create a space of home between the two of you by respecting them, by bringing out the best in them, by being mindful in how you're communicating with them. Sometimes we write people off because of character traits, but how you respond to them can influence the character traits that come out of them. There's some that are innate, there's some that actually manifest based on the company that you are in. So reduce the need to challenge, not only for them, but for you. You have a calm place to land. Also, in the beginning, especially if you're dating in your 30s, and I've learned this, challenging, we think it's like attractive. It creates this chemistry. It does not create the type of polarities that will draw a masculine figure and a feminine figure together. It does not. It actually is very masculine to challenge. So if you're wanting to attract polarities in terms of masculine and feminine, that's not what's going to draw them. We also think it's cheeky and cute. It's not. The older you get, the more you want to confide in people where you feel so settled, so calm, so relaxed. And that window gets smaller and smaller. That window of tolerance gets smaller and smaller when you're dating in your 30s and higher. So you maybe have maybe one or two times to create that type of impression with somebody, and then they already have it in their mind that this person is not that settled space, and they're on to the next. So instead of trying to challenge, think about learning them. Allow yourself to learn them. Especially in the beginning, learn them, observe, listen, watch, instead of constantly challenging with controversial topics and things that are just going to get people riled up. It does not create the attractive energy or chemistry that you think it does. Trust me. It just keeps them, it just gets them running the opposite way, child. And number 5, you got to stop playing the nice girl. This is kind of the opposite or polemic of the other, of number 4. You got to stop playing the nice girl and just going along to get along. I've definitely been here too in the past, especially when I was in my 20s. You're just going along to get along. You're not articulating your needs. You're not actually stating the things that you want. And that's not necessarily letting him lead. That is more co-opting people-pleasing tendencies, hoping that that gives you what you want, but that makes you expendable. It shows the level of confidence and love that you have or that you do not have. And that is not an attractive energy, right? So you want to release the nice girl persona. Instead, allow yourself to clearly articulate your needs absent from the potential suitor. What do I mean by that? When you're dating, you're articulating your needs. I'll articulate my needs and say the things that I'm desiring, but I won't relate it to him. I'll clearly outline, these are the things that, I'm dating for marriage right now. And these are the things that I would love to see in a potential partner, absent from him. I'm not saying that these are things that he needs to take on, because if it's aligned, he will naturally want to embody those traits. If there's a desire that he has towards me. You want to articulate your needs, but do so absent from them, because it might not be them. It's not about it being that person, right? It's about you confidently articulating your needs and stating your desires, knowing that it's either going to be this or greater. It's either going to be this or greater. So really allowing yourself to get comfortable and activating that personal power in your third chakra. You're to receive your needs first and to articulate them second, absent from that person, because you are confident that you're going to get those needs met some way. God has got you, okay? So these are the 5 do's to dating if you're a high achieving woman experiencing hyper independence that has you in more resistant or masculine states. Now, as I said at the end, if any of these resonate for you and you would like to really adapt your nervous system to new states of rest so that you can be in more of a receptive energy and embody these 5 do's, then definitely head to the link in my bio so you can get early access to my Divine Feminine Rest Waitlist. Lastly, Let me know in the comments which of these 5 do's really resonated for you. And please, please do not shame yourself if you find yourself falling into some of these patterns of resistance. Shame is not the energy we want to take on. And really begin to guide yourself into more receptive state. And know that you can have the desires of your heart. Happy New Year. Don't forget to follow your girl on the gram at Abiola Akani Official. And don't forget to follow my online yoga school at ia.well. Continue to be well, and I'll see you real soon.